see that little bit on Fox at the White House press conference. What happened is the government has got these proposals. Two senators are proposing a bill. It's because it's a bill, that means they want to pass it into law, and because it's a law, it means it's full of a lot of clauses and laws and public policy. And in this case, it proposes certain changes to immigration policy. For example, an end to chain migration, by which somebody gets a green card and then they bring in their little wizened aged aunt, and the aunt brings in a wizened cousin, and pretty soon you've got one worker and 27 relatives all along the chain living on welfare. That's a particular problem with countries where they don't have reliable public records, such as Somalia, for example. You're basically taking someone's word for it that they're your aunt or cousin or whatever. So there was going to be an end to that. These are specific policy proposals. Yet when presented with them, CNN's Jim Acosta decided it was a poetry reading.
The Statue of Liberty says, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free."
That poem he's quoting is, of course, the New Colossus. It's not a well-known title, but most of us know the bit about your poor, tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the whatever it is, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore, the teeming refuse of your wretched shore. It's one of those kind of poems. It's a sonnet. A lot of people don't know the title, the New Colossus, but they know it as the Statue of Liberty poem. And in a sense, as you can see from Jim Acosta, this poem has become the Statue of Liberty. As insane as Jim Acosta's behavior was at that White House press conference, the ensuing reaction was even nuttier. For example, US News reported that Miller's remark, the White House advisor appeared to distance himself from the 1883 Huddled Masses poem inscribed at the base of the landmark, chiding reporter Jim Acosta. Miller's remarks shocked many, even as supporters argue the symbolic poem technically isn't US law. That's the report from US News. They're breaking the news to shocked Americans that a poem isn't the same as a law. You've got poetry over here, you've got laws over here. You got all kinds of stuff by Longfellow and Lord Tennyson and Keats and Shelley over here. That's poetry. And then you've got laws over here. And when Shelley said that poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world, as he did in 1821, he didn't mean for us to take it literally, as we do with this Statue of Liberty poem. I don't know whether reporters take any other poems literally. I don't know whether there wasn't a young man from Nantucket, whether that is also regarded as law. But Michael Beschloss, the presidential historian, doubled down. Stephen Miller pointed out that this poem was stapled to the Statue of Liberty 20 years after it had been put up. And Professor Michael Beschloss, the presidential historian, objected to this on MSNBC. Mr. Miller saying that the poem doesn't count because it was put on later. You know, it's sort of like the Bill of Rights was ratified 4 years after the Constitution. So the Bill of Rights isn't very important either. It's not actually like that, Professor Beschloss, because the Constitution is law and the Bill of Rights is law, but the poem isn't law. Nevertheless, it has entirely afflicted our ability to comprehend the immigration issue. And as I said in my column, bad poems make verse law.